Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming. We wanted to do this today to give people, especially young people, the opportunity to get answers to questions about Islam that are really relevant to our life and our world today. Even though Islam's been around for hundreds of years, but it always seems like there are a small minority of extremist views that are maybe hijacking the conversation, dominating the media, and so on. So we wanted to take an opportunity to have kind of a safe space where people can ask whatever questions they want, whether they be critical or cynical or merely inquisitive. Dr. Hathout is always willing to ask all kinds of questions, doubtful or not, from Muslims and non-Muslims alike. One of the main things that we all think about is, even though Islam is the youngest of the Abrahamic religions, somehow it's still considered not modern friendly, not evolving with the times, not rolling with the times, even though it seems like other religions may have. So I want to start off by getting your thoughts on that and just kind of finding out why you think that people have that impression and whether it is or isn't true.
I think it's not that Islam is not rolling with the time. I think Muslims are not. And when they roll backward. So I think Islam is an eternal, up-to-date, always message of God to the universe until eternity. So it must have a built-in mechanism to renew itself and to accommodate and adjust to reality whenever it happens or wherever it occurs. So I think Islam is innocent of that false impression, but I would say that Muslims contributed a lot to create that image.
So why do you think that is? Is it an interpretation issue? Do people just choose to interpret things in a kind of limited, stagnant way?
I think it is more problematic than that. I wish if it is only this, but it got mixed up with the tribal patriarchal background and with the tendency to stand up for the tribe, not for the message of God for all.
So, and I think the other issue that always comes up is extremism.
Yeah.
As we were saying, there seem to be some very, very loud voices, and it may be a small minority, but they manage to kind of tarnish the image for many. We recently saw that, for example, with the YouTube video. Just last year, the YouTube video criticizing the Prophet, and then there was an extreme reaction all over the world by many, many Muslims, and a lot of people looked at it as, why are they behaving like this? Why are they not accepting criticism? So how do we react to that? Do we tolerate these different ideologies?
I think Muslims in general went into three directions. One of them is, okay, they can insult the Prophet, don't bother, they are stupid. I don't subscribe to that, by the way. The other direction was scream and shout in the streets and throw stones and burn a building and whatever. And in that process will die 50, 60 Muslims, usually. The third direction is, yes, I am very upset and consider this very insulting, but the way I reacted to it should be the way that Prophet ﷺ would have reacted to it. So I'm not depriving us of the right of anger. We can get angry about that, and we can announce our thinking about that vulgarity in talking about a towering figure like Muhammad ﷺ. But at the same time, I don't react in a way that's worse than the crime. And the Quran is loaded with examples of insults addressed to the Prophet. And in none of these insults, the response was, we'll go and burn them or kill them or throw stones at them. As a matter of fact, it's always to the contrary, that this a test of your patience, a test of your composure, a test of your faith.
Dr. Hathout, I just want to have a follow-up question about Sharia, because this was definitely one of the topics I wanted to address, because Sharia has become, as I always say, the big bad wolf now in the United States. Everybody's afraid of something when so many people don't understand what it actually means. I think even a lot of Muslims sometimes are, a little bit, there's a lot of kind of gray areas to what Sharia is. And we've spoken about this many times, and you have a very concise a way of explaining what it is about Sharia that ended up making it so scary for people. So could you lay that out for us?
Yeah, I don't know what made it so scary, but probably us. But Sharia is, as I said, linguistically in Arabic, it is the way that the water takes a path in the rocks. So it is a direction. It's not a frame. It's not a recipe book. This comes in jurisprudence. When people say if you are fasting and you swallow a fly, your fasting is still good. Others say no, your fasting is broken, etc. This is legalities, jurisprudence. You are a lawyer, Hishmat, right?
Yes, I am.
So you'll understand what I'm talking about. Sharia is to achieve the goals of Sharia, which are overarching goal of justice. And as Muslim scholars said, that wherever there is justice, there is Sharia. If there is no justice, there is no Sharia, regardless to the title. So if I put a title Islam, Islamic Islamism of Islam, but there is no justice, there is no Islam. There is no Sharia, period. So